What's going on, everybody? We are officially live. No countdown, no nothing. Just here. Oh, live. There we go. Some of y'all will catch this in the morning. Some of y'all will catch it live. We shall see. Make sure y'all hit like and subscribe. You just never know when we're going to go live. All right, so what was the episode of? Was this episode 92 or 93D? I think it's 92. Yes, we are live, Sadie. We are live. No countdown, no nothing. Just bam, just bada. Like Tony Baker said, just like that. No, nothing. Just bam, just bada. Skippity pat. You here for the game? Jonathan and R, you made it. Is this bedtime? I think bedtime is what you make it. Darius, let's go. You know it. Darius, you already know. What's going on, Tara? This a late night session. Tam after dark. We're streaming live on LinkedIn. See what happens. Yeah, this is live, Heather. Look like Frankenstein. I am alive. I am alive. I think this episode 92 of Highway Linux. I promise I won't talk about the bears and the worms tonight. Oh, you applied for the apprenticeship. Go look at where's Drexel located? Go look at Yale has apprenticeships as well too. I think the Yale apprenticeships pay anywhere between 70 to 80. Talk to Kayla about the apprenticeship. Talk to Kayla about the apprenticeship. She did it. Philly? Yeah. She did the apprenticeship for Yale. Just FYI. All right. So those that have been keeping up, I talked about the data centers this weekend. Y'all remember that? Remember I talked about the data centers? I even posted on our community channel about the data centers. Let me pull it up. I posted on there I thought I posted the data centers. I might have kept that information to myself. Oh man, I talked about it. But anyway, let's get started. Oh, don't tell me it got blocked. Yep, it did. It did. Oh, cool. All right. Let me show you this one. Blackstone is building a $25 billion empire of power-hungry data centers. Blackstone. Do y'all know who Blackstone is? A private equity giant says landlord QTS could be one of the best investments ever, but the resources needed for growth are vast. Blackstone data centers. I can't read the article because they want me to pay, but I wanted to point that out. And there's another one. I got some more in here. Hold on, let me pull it up. It's a recent one too. I don't have it up. but let me get it. Let me look. I just had it. It was I think it was it Microsoft building out some Microsoft building out data centers? I think it was Microsoft. It was it was recently, like I had the article today. Let me see if I can find it. I keep trying to tell you, infrastructure, it's not going anywhere. You want to look. Who said the song? I want to be rich. Oh, oh. Who was that? Who is that? I forget. I forget who that was. I'm finding the other data. Yeah, Mississippi. That's what it was. Amazon building the two in Mississippi. That's what it was. I'm gonna do a review of this one right here. Um, using Chat GPT to earn 20K a month. I don't know if y'all been catching the V Brown sections. They're really coming out of VMware. That's what the V Brown sessions are, or V Brown bags. I'm gonna show you. We're gonna talk through this right here. Using Chat GPT. I gotta find out when is a good date, but we are having a prompt engineer coming on to the channel. She's a lawyer as well, so that she'll be on. So that's coming up. Um, did you see this? Tesla announcing new $500 million Dojo supercomputing coming to New York. 500 million supercomputing. When I talk about high performance computing, again, back to uh back to infrastructure. How about here? I'm just showing you all the infrastructure headlines I've been catching. South Dakota looks to be the leader in quantum computing. South Dakota, remember I talked about South Dakota on one of the last ones where they're like who's leading the way in quantum. Yeah, down to earth Blackstone and everything. Right? Check this out. IBM's artificial intelligence business is booming. We just talked about IBM this weekend with the 401k and the structure. Now we're back and they're predicting that IBM will be the next Microsoft. They're predicting IBM will be the next Microsoft. Now, you're all asking this question. This is how we Linux. What does this have to do with anything? It has to do everything with infrastructure. It has to do everything with networking. It has to do everything with getting those skill sets. Here's right here. Here's the article right here. Could IBM become the next Microsoft? The expansion of hybrid cloud and artificial intelligence. IBM's fourth quarter earnings easily exceed analyst expectations, but it's still growing a lot slower than Microsoft. But they got a prediction. Like, could it be? So put IBM on y'all watch list just to see if it's a. I mean, they've been around for quite some time, right? Yeah, they do. They got a guaranteed 6% into a 401k. It's actually like an annuity if you really think about it, right? All right. So next one up. Let me make sure I got all the. I'm trying to make sure I got all of the infrastructure stuff. Want to make sure I got all of that. Yeah, I mean, you stay with on the government side, and when I say government side, contracting side, you'll be fine. All right, now let's get into some skills. All right, so we talked about IBM, right? Just put them on your watch list. IBM again, Blackstone. Oh yeah, I'll talk about this in a minute. Hackers deploy malicious npm packages into GitHub to steal SSH keys. We'll talk about that. We're gonna talk about this. Here's another IBM. All right, this is all about jobs. This is all about jobs here. Okay, and supercomputer. All right, where are we headed? 1 million machine learning specialists are needed by 2027. These boot camps are teaching in demand skills. 1 million machine learning specialists are needed by 2027. Let's blow this up. The field will grow 40%, translating into 1 million new jobs over the next 5 years, according to the World Economic Forum's 2023 job reports, the largest growth of any occupation. And while many AI and ML jobs don't exist yet, learning the in demand skills may end up having a sizable return on investment. Many businesses across a variety of industries are spending more on AI, from Papa John's to Canva, thus translating to a need for workers to have relevant skill sets such as knowing natural language processing, prompt engineering, and Python. Luckily, there are a few growing numbers of ways to learn these skills. One broad example is online learning from Udemy. You can go to Caltech. It's a couple other ones, which hosts dozens of offerings across a wide spectrum of experience, length, and practice. Many universities and tech firms have paid and unpaid classes. But if you're looking for a little bit more structure in your learning, a bootcamp program may be a good avenue to check out. They are shorter, cheaper, and flexible than a traditional degree program, but may provide substantial learning than one course or shorter certificate. Plus, some boot camps, importantly, provide career services and mentorship. Now, I don't know how great those career services are. You're gonna have to do your own investigation. Buyer beware. All right. All right, we got earlier this year, Springboard launched this machine learning and AI boot camp in partnership with three universities. Remember, I told you a lot of the universities buy programs from outside sources like Simply Learn, rebrand them, and then sell them back to you. So you can find out who the program is with at the source. You may not have to pay for the rebranding coming from a Caltech or something like that. All right. So we got Springboard, Full Stack Academy is another one they have listed here. And then edX. Now I like edX because edX has those micro boot camps, and then they are partnered with places like Arizona State, Columbia, Michigan State, Ohio, New Hampshire, University of Richmond, University of Utah. 8 to 10 weeks, proficiency in Python and mathematics. Now, this goes back to what I was saying before. And I was talking to D about this. I think a lot of the times, most people don't go into tech because of the math. And I wanted to go back and teach these classes here. I want to go back and teach basic geometry, algebra, statistics, and Cal 1. Linear algebra, once you learn about vectors and matrices and you can figure out how to multiply to multiply and divide matrices and vectors. You can figure that. That's easy. That's easy work right there. But I think the algebra, statistics, and linear algebra and geometry, I think if we started holding boot camps, just math boot camps, during the summer, I that's gonna help a little further, especially when we start talking about getting into understanding algorithms and so forth. I think we need to have ongoing math classes. I thought about data structures and algorithms, but I think you don't even get to that until you start doing math. See, see, trauma already. I'm just talking about geometry, right? But I think there's something to be said. Like if you can have some basic foundation in math, and I think we can start holding boot camps with Linux and math, maybe even throw in a little some data structures, like compile it, com, pull that together. I think that'll probably help a lot of people do a lot of different things. So I've been thinking about like maybe Python and Rust, math, all the way up to Cal One. Um, give some basics out of those, and then go into go into Linux, and that give you a foundation, another good strong foundation. But I think a lot of people don't go into engineering because of the math. I think that's where a lot of people just drop. I think you can figure out the logic to use to do programming, but the math, I think people be like, they glass over and they pass out. So, all right, full stack, simply learn. That's why I say they simply learn is with Caltech. I have them in my email because I was looking at them. Let me look. They got a class coming up. Yeah, class coming up. Let me see. Oh, right here. Get in before it's too late. The next cohort for Cal Tech AI and Machine Learning Bootcamp. Right there. Get in before it's too late. All right. Let's see. Springboard, they mentioned again. And I don't this is like it's something. This is an advertisement. Yeah. So Springboard Simply Learn, which is connected back to Caltech, and which is 10,000, and at UT Dallas is 8,000. But it's through Simply Learn. I don't know if they like took something out or whatever, but there you have it, right? So here we go. 1 million machine learning specialists are needed by 2027. 1 million. Let me close my thing here so I can see the comments. Let's see. Math is your favorite subject. All right. You use data camp. I got you. All right. Let me look. I ain't gonna hold y'all long because I know y'all going to bed. I just want to make sure I got all this stuff out. Let's see. We'll talk about that in a little bit. All right. I didn't like this title. There's no playbook for this. The CEO cut employee salaries by 20% and implemented a 4-day work week to avoid layoffs. I get it, to avoid layoffs, but you had to cut my salary by 20%. I could have just not work on Fridays and do 4 10s. That save your office space on Fridays. But whatever. Yeah, cut me 20%. You see if you can follow the workplace math. 40 hours minus 8 hours minus 20% equals 1. Whatever. For Canadian purchasing power software company, reducing the employee work week, an employee's 40-hour work week by 8 hours with a 20% pay cut equal to one job save. I don't know. Would you do it? Take a 20% pay cut. Does it depends on how much you make? Say you made 100,000. Could you take a 20% pay cut so that you can keep income coming in? Or would you, and then you get a Friday off? Or would there be a signal or a time for you to say, I need to go find me another job? Just curious. Mm. Y'all let me know in the chat. Let me see. It would be one thing if man whose company dates to 2013 brought down the iron fist on his staff. Instead, he took the idea to employees to get their feedback before pulling the trigger. It was pretty unanimous across the board, except for one individual who couldn't be a part of that, who chose to exit. Whatever the lone workers' reasons for leaving, they might be looking on the regret today. It took Procurify roughly 3 months to get back on solid ground, after which the company's budgets returned to normal. So it's only temporary, with everyone's salary restored to 100%. That's temporary. Now, we had to take 20% for the rest of the year. That's a big ask. But can you weather the storm for 3 months? 20%. All right. Bank of America warns its employees who are not reported to the office. It says Wayfair tells employees remote workers are more likely to be let go in the job cuts. They're not in the office now. They're threatening you to come back, and they're cutting jobs. So, and here's another one here. Let me look. Let me see where it's at. I had it just right here in my face. Let me see. Oh, right here, right here. This one I thought was a cold piece right here. This is by IBM. IBM ain't playing. It's a cold piece right here. IBM said IBM told its managers move near the office or leave the company. I was like, IBM is cold piece. Now we know IBM is led by I forget the Indian guy name, but we know that because he was on the list, right? He was on our list of 16 tech companies led by Indian men. International Business Machine Corporation delivered a company-wide ultimatum to the managers who are still working remotely. Move near office or leave the company. All US, let me switch it. So y'all can read it with me. All right, here we go. And I'll make it a little bigger. It's big enough, but I can make it a little bigger. It says all U.S. managers must immediately report to an office or a client location at least 3 days a week, regardless of the current work location status, according to the memo sent out January 16, viewed by Bloomberg. Badged-in data will be used to assess the individual's presence and shared with managers and human resources. Senior Vice President John Granger, who wrote in a note, those working remotely, other than employees with exceptions such as medical issues or military service, who must relocate near an IBM office by the start of August, according to the memo. That generally means within 50 miles, according to a person familiar with the rule who asked not to be identified about corporate policy. Managers who don't agree are and are unable to secure a role that's approved to be remote must separate from IBM. IBM is focused on providing a work environment that balances flexibility with the face-to-face interactions that make us more productive, innovative, and better able to serve our clients, a company spokesperson said. Consistent with that approach, we're requiring executives and people managers in the United States to be in the office at least 3 days a week. The executive office, Arvind Krishna, has long touted the importance of in-person work. In a May 2023 interview with Bloomberg, Krishna said that promotions will be rare for those who aren't on site. Some teams within IBM have already instituted office attendance requirements, A November memo told employees in the infrastructure business unit to show up at the company's location at least 3 days a week, with managers and executives expected to be in more. You either show up or get out. IBM is like, I'm sick of y'all. IBM, I said, I'm sick of y'all. Let me see. Let me see if there's one more. I think that was it for all of the infrastructure, except for this security one that we're gonna go through. We're gonna end on that one. Yeah, we talked about the ones with Wayfair in them. Okay. I think I have this one up, but let me get it over here. All right. So one of the 2024's best jobs can pay $200,000 and let you work remotely without a college degree. What do y'all think that is? You can earn upward of $200,000 working from the comfort of your own home, no bachelor's degree, if you're willing to crunch numbers. Loan officers claim the number 2 spot in Indeed's annual ranking of best jobs in the U.S., thanks to high earning potential and increasing demand for skilled professionals across several industries. The pay is great. The average salary for loan officers is $192 per Indeed. Positions also tend to offer a lot of workplace flexibility. At least 75% of the listings for loan officers on Indeed database have been remote or hybrid. So go look up loan officers. Those that are trying to figure out if they're going to be in tech or not, or they want to do something different, loan officers. All right. I try to get out stuff that don't require degrees and what do require degrees, right? Surprising jobs paying $100K, some with no degree or commute required. So let's go. Truck driver, car salesperson, a pharmacist, a fast food restaurant manager. We saw Buc-ee's. Don't Buc-ee's play the store managers about 150? I know I'm spelling this wrong. Yeah. They had reported advertising and staff. Yeah, right here. Let me see where that's at. Cashier, blah, blah, blah. Did I miss it? Oh, right there. Right there. Buc-ee's full-time employees began with its assistant general managers who earn a salary between 100 to 150, according to both posts. Car wash managers start a salary of 125,000, while food service managers are paid between 125 and 175,000. Finally, general managers, Buc-ee's highest paid salary employees, make between 150 to 225. So, ladies, if you're looking for a man, fellas, if you're looking for a woman and she working at Buc-ee's and she a manager, just saying, go in there and get you some coffee and be like, "Hey, Miss Lady, how you doing?" I'm just saying, right? But they do have a listing of their other salaries here. Between the cashiers make the department managers and assistant food services go up to 25 to 33 or 25 to 42 an hour, which is not bad. That ain't bad. Let me see. Who else was on this list? That's the 4-day work week. Let's close that. That's the loan officer. Talked about that. Okay, fast food restaurant manager. Yep. They're talking about In and Out and Chipotle. Does earning 100K make you rich? Of course. Well, no, over time when investing, yes. All right, so cool. All right, we talked about this one here and that one. I try to shut them down as I go along. All right, let me make sure I got all the other stuff before we get out of here. I just wanted to bring y'all what I'm seeing in the sector, infrastructure wise, with degrees, no degrees, boot camps, the 1 million of AI machine learning that need to be trained. And let me double verify all my notes here. And then we'll talk about this NPM hat. It's a big deal. That's a big deal. This goes back to, you're going to see this probably could be play out like the situation with SolarWinds. Because if people are able to, if you upload the code, if you're uploading that and people are grabbing people SSH keys, those keys lend them towards the getting into their environment, that's a big deal. All right. So before we get there, I don't know how many of you all actually go and look at guidelines from DOD. This is going to lead into what I want to talk about. So let me look at this. Okay, here we go. So here's the cybersecurity reference from the DOD. You can probably look this up for other departments, but this came out in 2022. U.S. Department of Defense, CIO Cybersecurity Partnerships Division, and here is developing a cybersecurity strategy and supporting policies, building defensible networks and protecting networks from incidents, critical infrastructure protection in the U.S. and national resources, managing, assessing systems and data, sharing information, building and maintaining a cyber workforce. So let's go into the cyber workforce. All right. Because a lot of y'all be asking about security, right? Cyber workforce is a warfighting domain that continues to evolve in terms of threat and complexity. As a result, the cyber workforce must also evolve to address the challenges posed by other adversaries and meet strategic mission requirements. Part of this requires reshaping our understanding of the cyber workforce to include all personnel who build, right here, who build, secure, operate, defend, and protect. Key words. These words are, or these action words are things that we're looking for on your resume. Build, secure, operate, defend, and protect. Right? It says build, secure, operate, defend, and protect U.S. cyber resources, conduct cyber-related intelligence activities, and enable current and future cyber operations. In line with this, the U.S. federal law now requires all positions requiring that the execution of IT, cybersecurity, or cyber-related work to be coded as a role-based structure. This allows for enhanced communication and coordination across lines. In addition, the DoD policy would expand current workforce requirements from IA personnel to all cyber personnel, necessitating the entire cyber workforce to be identified, tracked, qualified, and managed. You hear these words to ensure DoD can accomplish its varying mission sets to cyberspace. In addition to links to the DoD workforce policies and implementation guide, other resources highlighted in this section include federally funded entities, keyword here, industry partners, academic institutions that provide certification and training programs to the U.S. and international students. What did y'all hear when I said that? What are y'all hearing? Let me ask that. What do you hear when you hear these paragraphs? I can tell you what I'm hearing, but I just want to see what you hear. Because when I read, in addition to links to DoD policies and implementation guidance, other resources highlighted in this section include federally funded entities, industry partners, academic institutions that provide certification and training programs to U.S. and international students. You're in a global workforce, right? The workforce development training resources highlighted in this section do not represent an exhaustive list. Regional combatant commands and U.S. Embassy security assistant representatives should be consulted for additional options via foreign military sales, so forth and so on. And remember, there is also a fellowship program. So here there is a DOD scholarship program. There's also fellowships. You can also look at other agencies that have fellowships. National security, yes, but then you got to think about, what does national security mean? You could think about Texas and power grids. You could think about water. You could think about satellites. You could think about oil. You could think about anything that can stop your day to day. How about that? Here we go. North Georgia, the Department of Defense Cyber Scholarship Program, right? Here it is right here. Loyola University of Chicago, DOD Scholarship Program, the Fellowship Office, the Citadel, right? The Department of Defense Scholarship Program. Go look up those scholarship programs, right? Go look and see what the requirement is, right? The deadline is February 1st for the DoD CYSP recruitment program. Provides scholarships to college students, non-DoD civilians at the undergraduate and the graduate level, and cyber-related related majors at the National Centers of Academic Excellence in Cybersecurity. You may not get it in now, but you can get in another day. You may not be able to get in now, but you can get in another day, like next year. So now you can be prepared for it, right? All right. So now let's talk about this: fellowships versus scholarships. All right. A scholarship is generally an amount paid or allowed to a student at in an educational institution for the purpose of studies. A fellowship is generally an amount paid or allowed to an individual for the purpose of study or research. So some of you all may want to check out fellowships, especially if you want to do some research. And it doesn't have to necessarily be in cybersecurity. There are all different type of fellowships that you get, that you can go into or get, right? So fellowships, scholarships, undergrad, start looking at those. I'm just trying to help you ease the pain of saying you want to go into cybersecurity or whatnot. Oh yeah, they probably sleep. Right, right, they probably sleep. All right, so here are the resources. Right, so I just did the DoD Cybersecurity Exchange, the DoD Cyber Workforce Home, the DoD Expected Service Defense Civilian Personnel Advisory Service, Cyberspace Workforce Management, Cyber for Development of Security and Excellence, the National Cybersecurity Center of Excellence, the National Defense University, Naval Postgrad School, National Initiative for Cybersecurity Education, Workforce Framework for Cybersecurity, the National Initiative for Cybersecurity Careers and Studies. And I'm just showing you all the places, all these other places that actually have scholarships and grants and also ability to get jobs and work, right? That's what I'm trying to show you. That's what I'm trying to show you, right? So you can look this stuff up. They also talk about who their partnerships are with, right? And what actual certifications from CompTIA they like, and other certifications. A lot of people ask all the time, what should I be getting? Which one is better than the other one? Here's a whole list for cybersecurity of who they partner with and who they like. And if you're looking to go government, and even if you're not to look to go federal government, you can at least have a head curve if you go state and federal level, because they follow what government follows, what federal government follows, right? So again, sans.org is on here. Um, and then that's the end of it, right? So and you can look in here. They also talk about what they cover. RMF risk management framework, what that is, developing a cybersecurity strategy and supporting policies, building a defensible network and protecting networks from incidents. And they have each section broken down. So those that are in cybersecurity and looking to say, okay, well, I want to work on risk management side. Well, here's a whole slew of references and stuff. Oh, I need to set up a security posture, or what are the steps that I need to do to set up a security posture for my company or a group? What is what can I use to say, well, how managing access to systems and data, what are some policies out there that we can follow, and then go from there. Yeah, what's going on, Lynn? um Building and maintaining a cybersecurity workforce. That's what I went through. And look, for those of you that's trying to figure it out, they tell you right here, here's the information security handbook, a guide for managers, a guide for managers, right? And then they all have all the acronyms down here broken out. I thought this was a good resource for you all, especially that are looking like, well, what are the different areas of cybersecurity? Who's a good person that a good company that I can go look at to get a certification from? They have them all listed right here. And they also break them down too, right? About the each individual certification and the company that's supplying that certification. So Sans Institute Reading, Simulating Cyber, their GEOC, and then the different the different type of certifications you can get from that particular institution. They've already vouched for them. You don't have to guess. You don't have to say, I wonder if this is good or not. You can go right to the resource and say, okay, well, this is the federal government backs this particular one. Here's where you go. Now, some of those things are expensive, but you could turn around and say, okay, well, I don't want to go to that particular one because it's expensive. Let me look and see who's partner with those particular ones. So let me see if I can just go read the guides themselves. That's why I pointed out the guides that they reference to, so you could go read them for yourselves. Here's the thing. Suppose you don't understand the lingo. What would you do if you didn't understand the lingo or get a summary of what they said? I hope you use a chat GPT or some type of AI tool to break it down for you, to put it in terms that you will understand. So that's what I would do. I would cut it, I would paste it and say, okay, I don't know what this means, but give me a summary of what that is. Right. And so now you have a way to say, oh, this makes the lingo a little better. Here, I'll give you this here. D can go from there and do her thing. All right. So D will post that. All right. So now, why did I bring up all this cyber stuff? Here's why. Hackers deploy malicious npm packages on GitHub to steal SSH keys. Basically, when you go to Node.js, when you install Node.js, and maybe you want to do an update of a particular package, and that particular package is on your machine, and then you get an update of it, and now they're stealing SSH keys. Instead of breaking in systems, they're taking stuff off your own bots and sending it to you. Right? So let's go and look at this. Let's see if I can make it a little bigger. All right. 2 malicious npm packages were discovered on npm open source package manager, which leverages GitHub to store stolen base64 encrypted SSH keys obtained from developer systems that installed the malicious npm packages. In recent weeks, 2 suspicious npm packages named War Beast 2000 and Kodiak K2K were discovered in multiple versions. As of this writing, both packages were moved from npm in January. When did they get there? How long have they been there? Who's the maintainer? Who snuck that in? What security? This goes back to that whole thing with SBOM. This is why you start doing like supply chain management of the code. People are not breaking in through traditional ways. They're actually breaking into some of these open source projects and injecting malicious code into those projects. So you could be helping someone else out by downloading the code, and they do a test run on your stuff, and now they got access to your your Azure or whatnot, right? Reversing Lab stated that between 2020 and 2023 and the end of 2023, overall number of malicious packages discovered on open source package managers increased by 1,300%. A rising part of this trend is hosting malicious command and control infrastructure on GitHub version control platform. Malicious packages target developer SSH keys. Warbeast 2000 package, according to researchers, was made up of only a few components and was not particularly complex. Warbeast 2000 corresponding npm page was simple and did not openly imitate any other package. There were 8 versions. The new elements being added to the package with each new version. The package author was in the process of building out malware and adding layers of deception. Fortunately, the package was detected and removed from NPM before it could happen, reversing lab shared with Cybersecurity News. After the victim's machine was installed, the final version of the package, a post-install script, could be activated, retrieving and running a JavaScript file. The malicious script is in the second stage. Read the private SSH key that was kept in the ID RSA file in your those that do that make SSH keys, right? The base 64 encoded key was then uploaded to GitHub repository under attacker's control. The package did not exhibit any other actions other than obtaining and copying SSH keys. And then they got the code here to show how they was doing, how they was getting it and where they was putting it at. Once the packages is installed, Codec 2 executes a post-install script. The script launches a JavaScript file that is downloaded. Except for the first few, Codec 2 had over 30 versions, all which were harmful in contrast to Warbeast. Similar to Warbeast, that script searches for a key called meow while reading everything in the .ssh folder. So if you got keys to your company's machine, you got keys to AWS, whatever the case, your stuff, wherever, your private consulting company, what have you, they got it. They just gonna put run it in a for loop and get it, right? It's unclear if meow was just a placeholder name for the package throughout development, or the developer had a specific key in mind. When and if the meow file was located, the key contained in it would be an encoded base64 upload to GitHub repository as the Warbeast 2000 package. It was discovered later iterations of Codec 2 ran a script in GitHub repository that had been archived and contained Empire Post exploitation framework. The script can dump credentials from process memory by launching, I guess, Mimikat's hacking tool. So in 2023, Sonatype researchers tracked the NPM registry campaign, extracting Kubernetes configurations and SS keys via NPM. Their automated system found about 14 malicious packages. So basically, I'm coming to you and grabbing the keys to the castle. I'm coming to you and grabbing the keys to the castle. Oh, D didn't post it. Here you go, though. That a link. I'm coming to you and I'm grabbing the keys and everything. I want your mama, your daddy, everybody. I'm coming to get it. Right? All right, let me make sure I got everything before we get out of here. I'll be doing some AI, machine learning, a little bit more quantum. Here I'll post this one in Slack. Meta's new prompt engineering guide show you how to become a prompting pro. They show you talk about how to become a prompting engineer. I just want to make sure I got everything that you all needed. Let me double verify my stuff out here. And then y'all could be going night. Just don't download no NPM packages, no updates right now. Don't do it. It's not safe. It's not safe. I'm double verifying stuff here. Yeah, I think that was everything. I think we got it all, D. I wanted to keep it short and sweet for you all. You see the stuff that's coming down the pipe. Machine learning, natural language processing. You see the data centers are still being built out, right? You make new folders for all your SSH keys. That's cool. You just redirect all of them. But you don't throw it under .ssh, do you? You just throw it under something else. That's cool. All right, y'all. We're up out of here. If you haven't hit the like button, subscribe. Also, make sure you share this with your friends. Don't forget, we got the one-on-ones, and we still got merch. We still got merchandise. You can go to womeninlinux.org and purchase whatever. We need to update. We need to get some new cuts in there. We need some. We should have had some thermals, but it's all good. We'll get some for next year. Some thermals and some onesies. All right, y'all. Y'all be safe. Appreciate you for hanging out. Good night.